What is going on, guys? We are back with our Nighthawks Relocation Fantasy Draft franchise. It's officially the off-season now. This was supposed to be streamed, but my graphics card or my Streamlabs, one of the two, just would not let me do it. The errors keep popping up, and I was waiting. I was actually going to stream this on Saturday, then I was going to do it on Sunday, then I was going to do it on Monday. It didn't happen, so I'm just recording this now just in time to upload it here today. And yeah, it should still be a great time, but I really, really wish we were able to stream it, and unfortunately not. I mean, this is probably the first off-season I've done that isn't streamed for a franchise. It's kind of depressing, actually, but it is what it is. We're still going to have a great time. We're hopefully going to have a great draft. We should have a high draft pick. We would have had 2 high draft picks, of course. We did make the right call in trading our first round and keeping the Panthers, as the Panthers were a very bad team. A bottom 5, I think we're in that, like the 4 or 5 range, which is obviously great. I looked at the quarterbacks, and there's some decent ones, but they're all possibly going to be right before us. Regardless, let's go to the next week, which we'll get to see the Super Bowl winner, which will be the Saints versus the Chiefs, with the Chiefs winning. Don't actually even know what their roster looks like. Let's take a quick look, just a quick look. Maybe we've seen them already, and I'm like, oh yeah, McCaffrey, of course, Brady, McCaffrey, Brady, Hopkins, Samuel, Dawson Knox. Okay, so they have a really good offense, which obviously helps. We didn't look at our dev-ups, if we had any. I'm hoping for a few though. Let's see what we got. Cole Turner didn't go up in dev. Really? Kellen Mond, he wasn't star before, was he? Star dev for Kellen Mond. Of course, you could argue different things, but obviously there's some things that just need to be fixed. The game's not perfect, so we'll do that real quick. So obviously Cole Turner should go to star. Kellen Mond, it's a little bit debatable. If he was going to superstar, absolutely not. I'd deny that. I'd bring him back down to normal dev. What about Tutu Atwell? What was his season like? I thought he had over 1,000 yards. I mean, I feel like that's star dev. Let me know. I can always, fix these. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys think we should remove these devs that we're adding, and maybe even Kellen Mond. Who knows if he's even going to be the starter next season, because obviously we still have this offseason. We still have the draft. But I feel like just as the devs we've added were completely fair. Cole Turner had over 1,000 yards. Tutu Atwell had over 1,000 yards. And they're both youngsters that are obviously on the lower end. So just guys that wouldn't be expected to do as well as they did. I think the big issue of them not deving up was just the touchdowns, which, yards are still really important. And then defensively, Patrick Peterson went to superstar just based on his picks alone. Of course, I don't know if that's going to matter too much to me, as he is just basically unusable at this point on the ball. That doesn't really help us too much. Tariq Woolen, he wasn't star before, was he? He was normal. My man, star development trade. We take that. Tyndall, of course, had a really good year and stayed at normal. I don't know if it was good enough to force a dev, though. That is a very good season. I'll leave that one completely up to you guys. I think that one's a little bit more debatable, because once again, at some point in the season, he did kind of drop off a bit, so I don't want to force that one. But yeah, Woolen getting the dev up, that's all right. He had a really good season, locking players down all year long. But yeah, some dev ups, some not dev ups. It was an okay, turnout. Obviously, a great season considering the roster talent, but let's go on to re-signings. I think we've already taken care of this, but just in case we haven't. So yeah, Patrick Peterson, even though he's a cool player, he really just doesn't have any value. Even at superstar dev, it's just, we can't, dude. We can't. Of course, Steffens kind of wants a cheap deal. I suppose who doesn't these days? Who doesn't want to make a roster? He's just too cheap not to. I'll give him a 2-year deal worth, I don't know, this. It's nothing crazy, but who wouldn't want $250,000 guaranteed to never potentially play? But yeah, we are kind of getting down in the seasons a little bit, so maybe there'll be a cool name or two in free agency. I can't really expect much, though. A fullback and a bunch of special teamers, which we just simply don't really need. You can argue that the fullback is a special teamer. The first non-special teamer, Kareem Jackson, who at this point probably is special team level talent. Aruwariye, we do need corner. Are we that desperate, though? Really good zone coverage. Not the worst in speed. He's like Patrick Peterson, but, a bit better. Chandon Sullivan, kind of a slot corner. Once again, another slow guy. It seems like all the corners that are in free agency here are just really, really slow players. I mean, they're all just not athletic. I mean, literally every single one of them is just slow as hell. Mosley, obviously, not slow as hell. Maybe worth a contract, actually. I mean, there's some names. They're not very good names, but there are some names. Nick Needham, extremely slow. Tariq Cohen, don't really need him, to be fair. We don't Nick Needham. Zach Cunningham. I mean, there's just not, you know, maybe we'll take a look at one of the corners just to add some depth, but as far as like a pure starter, we're not going to see it because, I mean, everyone just has so much money at the moment. What about Dan Moore? He'd be an upgrade at right tackle, but I do kind of plan on drafting a right tackle, and I don't want to like stunt that player's growth. Don't really need a center too badly. Yeah, I mean, we're probably end up just going to save some money and, you know, maybe hold out for next year. So we offered a few contracts, but the only one that we actually got was Andre Sisco, who's only 23 years old, kind of that Gillespie replacement. Maybe even steals the job from Anderson, who knows, but obviously didn't really get what we were looking for. We were also looking for a kick return, punt return guy, and you know, he didn't accept yet. So it took a little bit of contract fighting, but we got Nwangwu right before the draft. It was a 4-year, 12.9. I was trying to get him more on like a 4-year 9, but I suppose even as a pure return specialist, he is worth that. So the draft is officially here. We have the Colts at number 1 overall. I do want to, just for the first pick, I'm not going to do it for all of them. I'm not going to milk it for every single one, but I want to kind of see what they're looking at, and that is likely quarterback Jalen Hurts. Not the worst option, but that throw power, you know, he's good at speed stuff, but the Colts are more of a traditional team at this rate, so I don't know if they would really be utilizing him into the best of his strengths. But they also do have a lot of needs across the board. You can kind of see why they were one of the worst teams, well, the worst team in the league, actually. But let's take a look. Is it going to be quarterback? And it is. Alexander McAllister, talked about as the number 1 overall pick all year long, and that is going to ring true here in the draft. The Jets, I suppose, since our pick for it, you know, I might as well milk it a little bit. Let's see their quarterback situation. Jared Goff, another team that is likely to be going quarterback. Worse offense technically because, you know, they only have like one guy, whereas, you know, the Colts have a few guys that they can work with. But this might also be quarterback, and it is A.J. Schafter. No, it's Schaffer. I thought it was going to be Schafter. Well, it is what it is. And then the Lions, the last team here, also not going to be looking for quarterback. They have Justin Fields, so this could be, you know, some sort of defender perhaps, maybe a wide receiver. I think the only quarterback remaining that is worthy of taking this high is 23 anyways, and their pick is not going to be talked about by us. But regardless, even if we wanted that 23-year-old, I think he's 23, we wouldn't have, you know, I mean, I don't want him anyways. We didn't have a choice, but this is likely going to be a trade down from us as we need as much as we can get. There is still a late first quarterback that looks decent, maybe worthy grabbing. I mean, regardless of the point, whether we go QB or not, this pick is too valuable of a trade down not to take it. There is actually still one more quarterback, Eddie Jones, who, I mean, doesn't look terrible. Great throw power, okay speed. I don't know if I really think he's that good for us, as we have a different guy. I also have, I'll just put my list up here. I also have an undrafted, probably a bit of a raw prospect, but 6'4" with a 4.57 40, good throw power, so just good enough to get the job done. And then you do have that kind of smaller type player. We scouted him fully, and he looks really good. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough pass. I don't know if we can. So ignore Akil Glass. This trade is pretty fair in general, trading 4 and 79 for 14, 20, and 116. Add Akil Glass even as a 69 overall, which is what he'll be after we fix his ratings and his dev, and it's pretty much dead on. And once again, as the team trading up, you're supposed to be giving more value. It should almost never be even. But just for curiosity, who do they take? And Atkinson. I thought they were going to take a quarterback, which we might do at 14. I mean, even this might be a little high for us. Screw it, we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to be taking a quarterback here. Super speedy. Normal development trade, but obviously 92 throw power is great. 89 speed, 89 excel, 88 change of direction. He is, I mean, everything we're looking for with a bad offensive line. I mean, simply put. And then at pick 20, cornerback is a pretty big need for us. And obviously, so is offensive lineman. But we do have Dre Long, who is a little bit on the weaker side, I will admit, but very, very athletic. Could maybe move him around if you had to. A little bit less guaranteed, though, compared to a guy like potentially Antonio Newhouse, who has a impact. A little bit slower, but stronger. It looks a little bit more promising, but this was a very weak offensive lineman class, I will admit. But corner, there was definitely some potential here as we scouted Sean Rodriguez a lot, and he's not terrible, doesn't look great. However, the physicals, that's where you're really getting a great player, potentially getting a Tariq Woolen clone here almost, which is just absurd to even think. Steven Booker, who I tried to scout more, didn't get enough scouting on, also extremely fast, which kind of makes you think, do you really want to reach and take one rather than grabbing what you need, grab the leftovers afterwards. A little bit slower for Meredith, but an A catching, which is just insane. It definitely seems like Rodriguez is the best, but he is also on the smaller side compared to the other two. I know he is 6'1", it's still big. I will say when I said the Tariq Woolen clone, I did think he was 6'3". I was thinking of Meredith, but 187 pounds is on the lighter side. Maybe gets thrown around a little bit more than you'd like, especially with the 9 bench press reps, but he is still an elite athlete. Do you want to go with Newhouse? I'm not sure. I think, honestly, we might be able to get away with yet another trade down. The Falcons here are offering a little bit of capital here. Screw it. I think we're going to trade with the Falcons and then move up to like 26, which is still like, it's a great trade regardless. And they go with a DT. He's a very good DT. He was actually somebody I looked at, but I felt like there was some other guys we had later in the draft that we could grab at DT. I mean, it's not that big of a need for us. I mean, Togiai could be replaced, but outside of that, I mean, there's not really much we can do with the defensive line. But let's go to the Bills, and I think we're just going to take Rodriguez. A near-perfect trade, giving up 116 to move up 3 spots, which, like I said, I think would be the corner. We really do need a tackle, too, but I honestly can't tell who's worth it, because once again, you have the weaker but faster Dre Long, and then you have Newhouse, who is a lot slower, but he is massive. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go with Newhouse here. I'm gonna change and go to Newhouse. Of course, hidden development trade, not the craziest thing. I'd actually think both him and Long would be hidden, but that is a huge upgrade. We now have maybe an entire offensive line of hiddens. Well, star or better. And we do not. Kendrick Green, I forgot about. I don't know if I even have a replacement for him in the draft, but regardless, you can definitely tell the team's getting better. We got ourselves a new quarterback. Even though he's normal development, probably will be a much higher overall already than our current quarterback. Cornerback, there are a lot of options. Ooh, Sean Rodriguez goes to the Steelers right after. They kind of dodged a bullet a little bit as we were literally about to take him instead, but went with the tackle, which I don't mind. We still have the 2 cornerbacks. I think both are worthy of drafting in the first round, or second round, if you will. I will say at this point, I probably would rather have Meredith for the size, but I think you can't go wrong with either one. Meredith is a bit slower, but he's still going to be athletic, so I'm just going to probably let this play out unless, somebody comes up quicker. Maybe have to trade up. Bean, I think, might have been on my list, but it's too funny of a name. I'd never be able to... Players would just be joking too much. We'd never get anything done. And then the Rams take... C, right? Of course they give me the option. Of course they make it harder on me. So, of course, you have a great 20-yard. The 3-cone's good enough. The jumping is a little bit of a question mark, though. So, 11th and 18th versus Meredith, who had better, not by a crazy margin. And once again, that speed is lacking. Jumping's great and all, but you don't need to jump as much if you're just out in front of the play. This is a tough call. They're both good. Yeah, I looked at both of them, and Booker is just a way and better, just the better athlete. We're risking a little bit more because we don't know as much about him and the potential, the key ratings, but I think you got to just go for the better athlete. Steven Booker, hidden development trade, automatic win. The only thing that Meredith had on him was the jumping, but I think it went from our guy, who is obviously Booker, who had decent jumping, to good jumping for Meredith, but everything else was just worse. And I don't know if Meredith's hit it or not, but I'm happy with the choice. Glad the speed and the excel ratings were exactly where they were, because if it would have been switched, we may have sold. And now I'm really debating on taking Dre Long and putting him at guard. He's just so athletic. He is 6'6", which is a little bit on the bigger side, but 6'6", 315, 22 years old. You have Parks, who's the pure guard, and he is smaller, but the big issue with him is A, he's not as athletic, and B, that F run block is just so rough. If it wasn't for that run block, I'd take him easy money, but I think I'm going to take Dre Long to be our right guard. I mean, Kendrick Green is decent, but he is only normal, and he's played really badly. This could be an L, but we're going to take it. Hidden development trait, not an L. Strength is actually better than I thought. I will say, though, his athleticism is worse than I thought, but I guess if you add those two together, it equals happiness, if you will. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I said it. No third-round picks, so we have to be a little careful here if we wanted to grab stuff in the late third, which we have a lot of day threes. I'm wanting to add one running back, maybe, you know, a pure power back. This guy looks like one, and he looks insanely fast, so, I mean, he would definitely be very high on my list. Robinson not too slow either, but you know, some of those shuttle drills not looking so great. Woodley, not really in the market for a tight end, but man, can you really beat him? I don't think you can. I really don't. I might have to grab him. We have other, I mean, there's so many good players. We're going to trade down to the late third. If we can find a team that has 2 late thirds or maybe early fourths, that would be great. It's a little strange that we had the 7th round because we're actually giving them like 20 points in value, which is pretty big when you're not talking about the first round. So pick 61, 212 for 93, 101, and 125. Falcons definitely giving us what we want here. Late third, which worries me a little bit. That day 3 could mean anything for the tight end. I'm actually going to just slow sim it. Probably going to go to 20 and just make the play. Carter Parks, good pick by the Falcons on the trade up. Maybe a little costly of a trade-up, but I'd imagine he was hidden development trade. Most of those linemen look like hidden development trade linemen, and so far, at least for us, thankfully they were. We'll see if Carter Parks was. I'll end up looking at him just because I'm intrigued. We trade 93 and 125 for 82, which is pretty close value. I just don't trust the Ravens. They just end up taking too many great players that they don't even need half the time, so we're going to end up taking the tight end, I believe, with this pick. Once again, that running back is interesting, but as far as what we need... Oh, what about Roy Shorts, though, the wide receiver? 6'4", 21 years old with a little speed. A little bit of speed on him. I definitely want him to... Man, there's so many good players, but even though Cole Turner turned in a good season for us, see what I did there? This guy's too good to pass on. Keenan Woodley. Oh, no, dude. Oh, no, dude. He's good. What do we do? I don't want to lose my boy Cole Turner, but this man... Okay, I was debating on having a preseason or not. You know, actually attending preseason. I think we're attending preseason. Not sure you have much of a choice when you've seen what we've seen. Running back. We've got Nwangwu, who is technically the return man, but don't really have a pure power back on the team. A nice third down running back would be filth. We need that power play, and Matt Carey could be that guy. What about Shorts? He's still there. McLeod's also still there. He's super fast, but I think we have plenty of smaller guys. It's actually a little bit slower than I thought, but plenty of smaller guys that can run fast, so I don't know if we need that. Hilliard looks really good. We definitely need to add some sort of DT type. Of course, that guy's super athletic as well, but I really like Michael Washington here, who just looks really talented. I mean, he looks like that guy. He's that dude. We also have a slot corner who's pretty athletic, but he's raw as hell. So I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but I don't think we need a running back as much as we need wide receiver DT talent. I think the first pick we're going to make is the DT. I think it's just bigger need. Michael Washington, welcome to the team. Normal development trait, but 94 strength, 73 speed, 82 excel, and he's only 21. So maybe a ton of potential, maybe a bust. I'm not sure, but let's go to pick 15. I'm hoping we still have talent here as Levi Trout goes to the Niners. Who gives a damn? Not me. Carey's still there. Shorts is still there. I just think it's hard to pass on a 4'4", 6'4" guy who's 21. I mean, even if he didn't start all year long, he still would be a great player for next year. He's got that jump ball ability. Roy Shorts is the choice. Normal dev. We knew his speed was going to be better than his excel and agility because that's what it said. I wish we seen a little bit more in those other ratings, but 91 speed, 89 jumping at 6'4" it's just good enough to get away with it, I think. Almost potentially good enough to get rid of Claypool. I'm just saying. I don't know. Of course, probably should have traded Mondoff, but you can't really guarantee that. We might have that quarterback battle still. The running back goes. Maybe I should have made a play, but it's too late for that now. Cole Robinson, he's kind of like the poor man's carry, but he also has a trucking, so I don't know. He's still looking good enough. So we trade from the bottom of the 5th using 2 7th rounds to get to the Colts, which is the first pick in the 5th. And this is going to be a little bit tougher of a decision, but I think we might go with a linebacker. You actually look at our linebackers, you see those star devs, and you're thinking, oh, they're not bad, but you really look deeper into it, and they really don't have a whole lot of potential to work with. Hilliard is a great option. B power move, B tackle. Strength is lacking, but 4'6'8". The problem is he's a DT type for us. I wouldn't play him at the edge, so I don't really care too much about that speed. So it's really down to Cole Robinson or the linebacker, and we just talked about the depth need at linebacker. We're one of the scheme fit teams as well. The vertical jump sucks, but the broad's good. The strength is solid enough. He's really fast. We're going to go Thaddeus Michaels, who is normal development trait, and I'm going to be honest with you, a lot slower than I would have imagined, but maybe still gets his chance to run. And the last player we have is Mick Gore, which is not a guy I'm going to be going for. We're actually lacking draft picks next year. I think we have a first, second, third, 6, 7, I believe. So if we can add a 5th, that would be kind of big. I don't know who the best or the worst is, so I'm just going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. The Saints just won, made the Super Bowl. So a little bit of a weird end to the draft is we're not going to have a 6th or 7th round pick, but we had a lot of draft picks before then, so no one's going to really be arguing that we definitely drafted a lot of players. And I'm going to be honest with you, I imagine this was a very solid draft. Obviously, I would have loved the quarterback to be hidden, but he wasn't. And, there's a lot of 70s. There was only 2 players that weren't 70+, and they were still really good in their own right. So, devs we won't look at. We're not going to spoil that, but the quarterback looking very good. Stamina 83, would like that to be up a little bit. What about paranoid sense of pressure? Well, you've come to the right place, sir. You've come to the right place. The right tackle, automatic starter there. He is very rough in the run stuff, but he is a good finesse blocker in general. Decently athletic. Then you have the cornerback, who is a 73 overall hidden development trade. Basically the plug-and-play number 2 corner, just based on his potentials. Very good injury, very good stamina, very good hit power even. That's actually pretty sick. Like some Jalen Ramsey type, honestly, built just like him. Dre Long, the new right guard, as he is very good. I mean, he's literally just as good as Kendrick Green, but he has the dev on him. Going to be moving him to right guard real quick. Now, once again, don't want to look at the devs. Don't want to skew any opinions. What else do we have? Woodley, the tight end, who, once again, he's going to get his chance to burn. Decent short, medium, and just awful deep run blocking. They said he was a B run blocker, which just isn't true. Great catching, though. Decent catch in traffic. I mean, solid player. Look, and I even noticed all the traits. Every single catching trait. Then we have the DT, who's a 73 overall, and I mean, honestly, a bit better than I would have thought. He's probably going to be a starter right out the gate. I mean, he looks better than Togiai already. Roy Shorts, who is 21 years old. Once again, great jumping, solid spec catch. A good short route receiver, which, I mean, I would like to see his, medium to deep better, but great aggressive. Run after the catch. No possession, which is kind of stupid. Don't know how you would have run after the catch when he's not even a good run after the catch guy. And then Thaddeus Michaels, who is very raw on the coverage ratings. Catching sucks. That might just be a bust pick. But once again, we still have a preseason to show up to and see if anyone can maybe climb their way up the roster. Of course, that quarterback, Lamont Farrell, 22 years old. I guess he wasn't 23. He's good, but, I mean, in the end, wow, those numbers are just awful. In the end, our guy is faster. He has a way higher ceiling because of that. But, man, there's some really good players here. Look at these overalls. I mean, I had Clancy as one of my guys, too. It's a normal development trade. I was like, he's kind of hybrid-like. Maybe you can put him at DT. I mean, I don't really care too much that we didn't get him. And then you have Randolph, who I had on my list, but 23 obviously was just too much for me to go for. And then what did we have? I wanted to see the guard, didn't I? Where is he? Here is Carter Park, 68 overall, hidden development trade. That's a close call. Of course, that's the one thing we didn't want him for is the lead block, which is awful. 64 lead block, but then 62 speed. What was our guy for lead block and all that? So lead block, he had 81, which is just so much higher, and the speed is so much higher. So we absolutely made the right call there. So I'm not 100% sure if we're going to have a full preseason, what's going to be the story, but I imagine that would be next video, as this is what the team is going to be looking like for the start of preseason. Obviously, Woodley has a huge chance to steal the starting job, as he is just everything Cole Turner is, but better, other than a little bit in the route running. Cole Turner is a very good route runner, so he does have that little bit of a lead up on him, but yeah, I mean, we do have good tight ends. No matter what happens, we're going to have great tight ends. Left guard is going to be Kendrick Green more than likely, as Ben Barch himself was kind of lacking, and even though he is star dev, he is also many years, well, actually, he's only 1 year older. I thought he would have been way older than Kendrick Green, but it's a few years older than Kendrick Green. Everything else, though, pretty expected. The first-round quarterback starting over Kellen Mond is no shock there. Of course, defensively, we added Booker to number 2. And then we have Michaels, who's going to be playing the backup spot to everyone. McDuffie, this is just like, an anomaly. Cisco, same thing, could steal a starting job from Tyson, who has lots of potential because of how athletic he is, but also technically already just as old as Cisco anyways. But Cisco's maybe a little bit more talented, and he's not, any slouch in speed either. So we definitely added some talent. The DT Washington would be the number 2 right out the gate, just because of pure just way betterness, if that's words you want to use. But yeah, to come out of the realm of the franchise a little bit, let me know if you guys have any name ideas you want, because some of these guys probably will need to change their names. I mean, some of them are all right, but some I'm just going to change, just can be honest with you. But overall, that's probably going to be it for the off-season video. I, once again, really wish it was a stream. I will keep you guys updated if I get it working. In the community tab, I'll let you guys know. Like, hey, it works, but I will say it'll probably be the same day kind of thing, because there's no point in me being like, if it works, let's say I fix it tonight, and I plan on streaming like a day later. It's like, it's not gonna happen, or it's like 1 a.m. and I get it working. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, it's working. There's no point in doing that. I'm gonna try it every single day, and if it's working, I'll probably post about it, and then it'll be later that day we stream. Which even then, if I don't keep my PC on, it could literally break again. It's actually so annoying, because normally I'm very tech savvy, and maybe it is just a hardware issue, which if that's the case, I can't do anything about it without replacing or fixing the hardware anyways, which now that's a little bit above my pay grade. I can't do anything about it anyways, but normally when it comes to technical issues, I can easily fix things, but this, for some reason, just isn't happening, and it's been kind of an issue for mine since the draft, which is just great. Obviously, if I could have screen recorded Streamlabs, it would have been so much quicker to upload reaction videos to the draft for the Packers picks, but instead I had to do it through just Audacity, and then adding an image and then rendering it out, which is so much slower than just uploading the finished Streamlabs video. So that's why the videos were really late that day as well. So hopefully this battle ends, but I will tell you one battle that's not going to end. Our battle for the playoffs, it is going to be a tough one, as even though we did add talent, we still are lacking, and the talent we did add still needs to develop. The quarterback's a normal dev guy, a lot of potential, super fast, good accuracies and all that, but still needs to develop. Same with the guy Roy Shorts. He could be a guy that comes up and becomes one of the best team players on the team, but it's not going to be an instant. Same with that DT we drafted. The cornerback looks good out the gate. We don't know their devs. Some of these guys that are hitting could be Superstar, could be X Factor for all we know, but you know, it's going to take some developing, and obviously we still have players on our team that weren't drafted this season that need to develop still, like Sky Moore and Atwell and whatnot. So should be a great season. Probably will have preseason next, though, so be on the lookout for that. Might even be tomorrow, and then Thursday would be a rebuild. So that is kind of the plan going forward. He also uploaded a second channel video last night, so maybe check that out on PKR Plays or the community tab. Either way, you'll get there. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays. And then if I ever get streams working again, twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for that. That's about it, though. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!